The day the divorce papers were signed, the city's courthouse echoed with whispers. Everyone knew the wealthy couple, Marcus Whitmore and his glamorous ex-wife, Cassandra. For years they had been the picture of success, their lives splashed across magazines, charity galas, and business journals. Marcus, though quiet and reserved, had built his fortune through years of grinding in finance and early investments in real estate. Cassandra had been the dazzling socialite who seemed to shine brighter with his wealth behind her. But behind closed doors, their marriage had rotted. Cassandra's thirst for status grew insatiable, and when Marcus decided to scale back his corporate lifestyle for something simpler, she mocked him. To her, love was measured in diamonds and designer handbags, not in loyalty or sacrifice. When the judge's gavel fell, Cassandra's smirk cut deep. She had walked away with nearly all the glamorous assets: the penthouse apartment, luxury cars, jewelry collections, and several business stakes Marcus had foolishly signed away in his exhaustion from the fight. All Marcus had been left with on paper was a sprawling but dilapidated countryside mansion no one wanted. An abandoned relic from his grandfather's estate, crumbling under years of neglect. When she heard, Cassandra laughed openly in court, whispering to her lawyer loud enough for Marcus to hear, "Let him rot with the rats in that ruined castle. It suits him." Her entourage of friends cackled as they gathered their coats, sweeping out of the courtroom in clouds of perfume and entitlement. Marcus, however, said nothing. He simply picked up his worn leather briefcase and walked out quietly, his sharp blue eyes betraying nothing. To outsiders, it looked like Cassandra had won. She strutted down New York's Fifth Avenue, buying champagne to celebrate her victory, while reporters snapped her picture. Meanwhile, Marcus drove alone to the countryside, his modest sedan trailing off the highway and down winding rural roads. As the city lights vanished, a massive silhouette emerged against the darkening sky: the Whitmore mansion, once the pride of his family's name. Now, ivy clawed across its stone walls, windows were cracked, and parts of the roof sagged. It looked more like a haunted ruin than the stately home it once was. But Marcus parked, stepped out, and breathed in the silence. The cool night wind rustled through the overgrown gardens. Most would have felt despair in that moment, cast out from luxury into desolation. But Marcus smiled faintly, because Cassandra didn't know the truth. The Whitmore mansion was no ordinary estate. Hidden in its decrepit halls were secrets known only to Marcus. Secrets his grandfather had entrusted to him before his death. When Marcus was just 19, his grandfather had told him, "One day, you will inherit more than these walls. You'll inherit the legacy hidden inside them. Do not squander it. Do not reveal it to anyone who would not understand." For years Marcus had brushed it aside as the ramblings of an old man, but deep inside he knew the truth. Within the walls, vaults, and cellars of the estate lay a fortune carefully guarded through generations. Rare art, gold reserves, priceless manuscripts, and assets funneled discreetly through offshore trusts, all amounting to nearly 150 million in value. And while Cassandra had clawed at jewelry boxes and luxury cars, Marcus had safeguarded the real empire where she least expected it, in the very ruin she mocked. That night, Marcus walked through the creaking halls of the estate with a flashlight. Dust coated the banisters, and cobwebs draped across chandeliers that once lit grand galas. But as he descended into the hidden wine cellar, he pressed against an old oak panel and heard the faint click of a mechanism. The wall shifted, revealing a vault door behind barrels of forgotten wine. His fingers brushed the steel, and a sense of relief washed over him. The treasure remained untouched. Cassandra had laughed too soon. Over the next weeks, while tabloids ridiculed Marcus as the fallen tycoon, Cassandra basked in luxury. She flaunted her new penthouse and hosted endless parties. Photographers adored her. But the whispers of her extravagance turned darker. Rumors of gambling debts, poor investment decisions, and betrayals by her new circle of so-called friends. The woman who once seemed untouchable was slowly sowing the seeds of her downfall. Meanwhile, Marcus worked quietly. Contractors arrived at the mansion under confidentiality agreements, restoring its bones, repairing its roof, and breathing life back into the estate. Each day, Marcus unearthed more of the hidden fortune, paintings by masters, gold bars, and documents tied to companies still profiting under his name. The man the world thought broken was in truth becoming stronger than ever. As Marcus sat one evening on the grand balcony, watching the sunset bathe the mansion in firelight, he thought of Cassandra's cruel laughter. He whispered to himself, "You wanted me ruined, but you gave me back everything that truly mattered." And this was only the beginning. Friends, if you're enjoying this gripping story of betrayal, hidden legacies, and poetic justice, make sure you subscribe to our channel right now. There's so much more to uncover in Chapter 2. You don't want to miss the twist that will leave you speechless. Hit that button. Join our family, and let's dive deeper into Marcus's revenge. Months passed, and whispers began spreading across high society. The Whitmore mansion, once the crumbling symbol of Marcus's fall, was being restored into something extraordinary. Work crews, artisans, and security guards surrounded the property. People speculated wildly. Had Marcus lost his mind sinking money into ruins he couldn't afford? Cassandra smirked whenever reporters asked. "He's clinging to ghosts," she sneered. "He's broke, trying to play lord of a rotten castle. Meanwhile, I'm living in the real world." She laughed in interviews, flashing diamond necklaces she had purchased with his settlement. But behind closed doors, Cassandra's world was crumbling faster than Marcus's mansion was rising. She had overextended herself. She had spent millions on luxury cars, designer fashion, and extravagant parties, believing her beauty and charm would keep benefactors around her. But the wealthy suitors who flocked to her quickly grew tired of her arrogance. Her investments, reckless real estate deals, and shady crypto ventures were hemorrhaging money, and debt collectors were circling. Still, she ignored the warning signs, convinced Marcus remained the fool. Until one autumn evening, when she received an invitation that made her scoff and fume. Marcus Whitmore was hosting a grand reopening gala at the newly restored Whitmore mansion. The event promised a dazzling showcase of rare art, philanthropy announcements, and the unveiling of a cultural foundation. Every name in society had been invited. Cassandra's name was there too. At first she tore the invitation in half, muttering, "Pathetic. He's begging for attention." But curiosity gnawed at her. What could Marcus possibly have to show? Broken, ruined as he was. Eventually, pride won. She would go if only to gloat in front of everyone. The night of the gala. Limousines lined the mansion's sprawling driveway. Guests in gowns and tuxedos gasped as they stepped inside. The ruined hallways they remembered were now transformed into glittering ballrooms. Crystal chandeliers bathed marble floors in golden light. Priceless paintings hung along walls restored to their former glory. The estate didn't look like a ruin at all. It looked like a palace. Cassandra froze as she entered. This wasn't the work of a broken man. This was the work of a king. Cameras flashed as Marcus descended the staircase in a tailored suit, his calm presence commanding the room. Applause erupted as he welcomed guests. Cassandra forced a smile, but her stomach twisted. Then came the moment that shattered her last illusion. Marcus took the stage and announced the creation of the Whitmore Foundation for Arts and Education. Seeded with an endowment of over 150 million, gasps filled the room. Cassandra nearly dropped her champagne glass. The number rang in her ears. 150 million, how? How had the man she mocked and abandoned turned ruins into an empire greater than the one she had stolen? As Marcus spoke of legacy, of building something enduring beyond wealth and vanity, Cassandra's heart raced with panic. Whispers rippled through the crowd. People were already comparing Marcus's quiet dignity with Cassandra's reckless extravagance. She could feel her reputation evaporating. When Marcus finished, he thanked his guests, locking eyes with Cassandra for the briefest second. No malice, no anger. Just calm certainty. That hurt her more than any insult. Because she realized in that moment, he didn't need revenge. He had already won. Cassandra's debts consumed her in the months after. The penthouse was repossessed, her luxury cars seized, and her friends vanished as quickly as they had come. The woman who laughed at ruins was left with nothing but bitter regret. Meanwhile, Marcus's foundation flourished. His mansion became a beacon of culture and philanthropy. And his name was celebrated not for wealth alone, but for vision and resilience. He had turned his downfall into triumph. He had turned ruins into resurrection, and the world would never forget. Friends, if this story moved you, if you felt the sting of betrayal, the sweetness of justice, and the triumph of resilience, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. More incredible stories like this await you. Stories that inspire, shock, and uplift. Click that button, stay with us, and together, let's keep uncovering the tales that prove true strength always rises.